Greetings once again, guys. Just got out of seeing the brand new film thanks to Roadshow Films, and that is Conclave. Of course, it is directed by Edward Berger, and also stars the wonderful Stanley Tucci and Ralph Fiennes, John Lithgow and Isabella Rossellini. Now, this film is a very interesting film. It is based off a fictional storyline that occurs when the current Pope of the Roman Catholic Church passes away, and they have to kind of obviously get all the Cardinals together to select a brand new Pope. But there is a bit of an element of mystery threaded into this plot. Intriguing enough, but that first act is quite slow to develop. The narrative does take a while to get going. They try to disguise that lack of pace in the script and in the narrative with some interesting stylistic shot selections. They're probably not enough, and a lot of the performances initially kind of very slow to build up. It might lose some audiences, at least at the start, but once that plot starts building, once we get into that second act, it is interesting. This film is definitely the strongest in its second and third act, and it's just because the narrative just kind of builds and builds, and this mystery kind of envelops, and all these kind of interesting kind of narratives form as the characters kind of oppose each other. There's lots of politics in it. There is elements of mystery in it, thinking, if someone being deceitful. It is kind of really magic how that kind of script unravels. But a lot of that rests on some amazing performances, particularly from the lead actor in this, and that is Ralph Fiennes. He is impeccable in it, fantastic, and I don't know if the film has any legs without him. He does some wondrous things in this performance that you never really quite know what he's thinking, and in some ways Ralph Fiennes gives you the perception that he doesn't really know what his motives are, which is really quite interesting, and how that character kind of unravels on screen is quite unique, but it's much of its courtesy of his wonderful kind of performance and thought-provoking kind of selections with the way he kind of displays his emotions on screen. The film very much follows his point of view in this, and obviously we got some wonderful actors alongside him. Particularly Stanley Tucci is quite a bit of a standout in this. He's playing a bit of a straighter role than Ralph Fiennes is, but he's quite good in it as well. And John Lithgow adds a bit of gravitas to this as well, and some necessary female energy in this film based off the Roman Catholic Church, and that's Isabella Rossellini. She kind of offers a bit of some stoicism into this kind of script, as well as it kind of plays out on screen. Another notable mention is Sergio Castellitto. He is particularly good in it. He's one of the front runners as one of the Cardinals. He does a great job. Pretty much a character actor in it, but he does lend this kind of unique perspective when you see him on screen, especially opposite some of those other characters, because this film is all about kind of politics and different points of view, even to the point of having conservative and liberal perspectives, and how that kind of is going to formulate the Roman Catholic Church in the future, which kind of plays out in a very interesting way. So it's definitely worth checking out on screen. Just be aware that narrative does take a little bit of time to develop, particularly in the first act, but really once we get into that second act, it gets very mysterious, and you start thinking what's going to happen, and then by the end there is a quite interesting plot twist in it that I don't know if many people will predict, but really very notable film. I think it is definitely an awards contender. I think it's going to get nominated. Don't know if it'll get Best Picture or anything like that, but it's definitely going to get nominated, and it's going to be in the conversation, particularly with some of those great performances. But Ralph Fiennes definitely the standout in this film, and he offers a lot to it. Very thought-provoking in his acting choices, but yeah, definitely worth checking out just for that. Some of the cinematography is really fantastic as well. I think the film hides a little bit behind that, at least in the first act, just with some creative shot selections, but by the end it very much is artistic, the way it kind of creates kind of simple scenarios and frames them. I think it looks really great, kind of how that develops on screen, but really definitely worth checking out in the cinemas. Bit of a slow burn at the start, but really it does pick up, and it is this interesting kind of mystery, not necessarily a murder mystery, but just more about political intrigue, at least within the Roman Catholic Church, which is kind of really interesting how it all unravels. There is also some interesting moralistic kind of choices in this. They kind kind of maybe suggest to the audience the way things really should be in the world. But yeah, it is really kind of interesting how it all unravels. But hopefully you enjoy the footage from today. And also don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And also make sure you leave a comment to say hello and let us know what you thought of the movie. But aside from that, I'm about to head off. I'll catch you guys at the next one. So long.
The Pope is dead. The throne is vacant.
The conclave begins now. We're about to choose the most famous man in the world.
And 1.25 billion souls watching.
I'd say this is a pretty fair vision of hell.
Well, don't be blasphemous, Ray. Hell arrives tomorrow when we bring in the Cardinals.
No sane man would want the papacy.
Some of our colleagues seem to want it.
Another cardinal has just turned up. He was never on our list.
He has to be an imposter.
You look anxious. Everything under control.
Where did you get this?
The Holy Father was spying on all of us.
You should be careful, Thomas.
Although we sisters are supposed to be invisible, God has nevertheless given us eyes and ears.
What did you discuss with the Holy Father in that final meeting?
Arrangements were made in Paris.
I shall pretend this conversation never took place.
But it has taken place. This is a conclave. It's not a war.
It is a war, and you have to commit to a side.
Why did the Holy Father, in his last official act as Pope, choose me to run this conclave?
The reasons would become clear soon enough.